Good morning or afternoon. Yeah, I hope you're well and have had a good weekend and are looking forward to today's science lesson. I'm saying good weekend because it's Monday when I'm filming this, but you've got the idea. Today in science, you're going to be investigating what shadows are and why they're formed. You're going to be building on your knowledge of the sun and other light sources from the previous weeks and how light travels in straight lines. To be successful today, you'll understand what a shadow is. You'll understand why and how shadows are formed. You're going to learn some words: opaque, transparent, and translucent, and understand what they mean. You're going to predict and check what types of objects block out light, so which ones are opaque. And finally, you're going to use your new knowledge to deliver, I really hope, a stunning light show. If you do, you'll be up on the video next week because I've seen some great work coming in. I wanted to celebrate it a little bit. So, Susanna, I don't really know you because I've never been your teacher, but I do know what a wonderful scientist you are. I've seen this brilliant diagram that you conducted that shows the rotating Earth and how the different parts of the Earth are in day and night, depending on the time of day. You've got the light rays, which I'm sure would go straight. And with those light rays, you're showing me how they're coming from the light source of the sun. And I loved as well how you've also got the rising sun in the sky, how it's showing that it's dawn at the beginning when it's just coming up and it's dusk when it's going down. I really like that detail. I thought it was a fantastic diagram. Thank you. Now, Susanna's was a diagram. Your video, Ants, made me smile and made me really impressed when you showed me that light couldn't go around corners. I just took a photo of it. Ants, I really like how you actually involving people at home in doing that, and you had a good go. I thought your teddy was pretty large in the box, but I thought it was fantastic. So thank you, Ange, for that as well. Guys, any work you do, I'm really, really pleased to look at. So thank you for sending it through. Just remembering our work from last week then about dusk and dawn and about day and night and about the sun and the positioning in the sky it appears to have. The 7 words which are missing here. Can you fill in these 7? You can write them down if you want as we read through the sentences, or you can just shout them out when we come to reveal. When the sun rises in the it starts getting light. This time of day is called During the day, it looks as though the sun is moving the sky. This is because the is turning. Eventually, the will start setting, making the light disappear. This time of day is called and once the sun has set completely, it becomes time. Right, guys. So when the sun rises in the morning, it starts getting light. So that's when the sun rises, isn't it? And this time of day, and you might have spotted this one, is called dawn. Well done. During the day, it looks as though the sun is moving up in the sky, or no, it's across the sky. You look at where the sun's positioned within the sky at different times of day, and you would think it was moving across the sky. This is because, why is it? Because the sun's turning? Because the moon's turning? No, it's because the Earth is turning on that axis that Susanna demonstrated so well with that diagram. Eventually, the something will start setting. What's going to start setting? The sun. This time of day is called dusk. Well done. And once the sun has set completely, it becomes nighttime. Well done. Okay, great stuff. Right, guys. So one of the words that we're learning today is this word opaque. Okay, and opaque basically means something that you can't see through. Opaque is not able to be seen through. Word opaque stems from the Latin, so a language which not many people speak now, but was spoken a long time ago by lots of people. And that word opacus meant shaded, in the shade, shady, dark, dark and obscure. Lots of words which are synonymous, so mean similar things to the idea of being blocked out from the light and not being able to see through. So opacus is where opaque comes from. Here's an image of something that's opaque. You can see where my green arrow is pointing at that board. That's demonstrating the light source, the torch, isn't able to penetrate, go through the opaque objects. You see that brown board is stopping the light going through because it's an opaque object. It stops light coming through. You can't see through it. Synonyms then, impervious is a great piece of rich vocabulary, but you might also say muddy. So something you can't see through could be described as muddy. An antonym, so a word which is the opposite meaning, might be clear or transparent. And transparent is a really good word to keep in your head for later because we'll be looking at that word's meaning and its usage later. The usage then for opaque, we could use words like I was unable to see the children waving through the opaque window. You can see me because my camera has got a transparent lens. However, if I had an opaque object in front of it, you wouldn't be able to see me, and I was waving, and you might be waving at me. Okay, and that's the idea of opaque. It stops you seeing things. Right, guys, we've got the idea of opaque. Then you might want to get yourself a torch like I did here. And if you get yourself a torch, what you're going to do is see if you can find some things that are opaque so that you can't see through them. Got 2 minutes to do it. Timer's on the screen. Off you go. Opaque objects, as many as possible. I've already spotted one. I can't see through that. One for me. Right, what else have I got that's opaque? Looking. Oh, my book is opaque. That's 2. Can I get 5? Can I get 5? Oh, this looks quite opaque, doesn't it? I can't see through that. Can I? Not sure. I have to check that in a second. Is my coffee cup opaque? Can I see through it? I can't see through it. That must be opaque. What else have I got? It's opaque. What else have I got? Oh, my pencil is opaque. I can't see through that, so I think my pencil. Oh, I've got half my time left. Oh, my cat brush. Oh, that's another one. Great. Oh, I'm hungry now. Can I have a bit of my chocolate orange? I've got a bit of my packaging. Well, if it's packaging, it must be opaque. I can't see through. I can see through them. What might that be? Okay, so another minute or so to go. Oh, my remote controller. That's another opaque object. Can't see through that. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope it's going to be 5. Oh, and another one highlighted. It's opaque as well. 6. I bet you can't beat 6. 6 opaque objects. I'm the Opaque Hunt winner. What's that? Isaac's got 9. Taven's got 12. I gave up. Right, guys, your time is coming to an end now. How did you do? Did you get lots of opaque objects? Because I got 1, you couldn't see through your pen. 2, you can't see through the paper. 3, you can't see through the remote control. 4, you can't see through the book. And 5, you can't see through the cat brush. And 6, you can't see through the pencil. I got 6. Did you beat me? Now, I thought this might be an opaque object, but actually you can still see me, can't you? You can still me pulling the face because I'm grumpy because I didn't win the opaque hunt. Maybe I also thought this was opaque, but it's not, is it? It's actually transparent. Now, this transparent one I can see through completely. This one's a bit cloudy. It's called translucent. We'll have a look at this later. I think it's a superhero coat from one of my daughter's dollies. Okay, so we've got an opaque hunt there. Well done if you beat my 6. I'm sure you did. Did you find 10? Now, shadows then are formed, aren't they? And when there's an opaque object. Now, can you point to the shadow on the screen here? Okay, can you point to it? Yeah, it's not the tree. This tree is causing the shadow because the tree is an opaque object, and the opaque object is stopping the sun, the light source coming through to the ground. So if you think about the ceiling there, you can see, can't you, my light in this room. Pretend that's the sun for a second. Now, if there was an opaque object like a tree, and let's pretend this is a tree actually. Let's pretend there's a tree there. Then you would actually see a shadow on me, wouldn't you? Because the light wouldn't be coming down through the opaque object. Okay. Here though, the shadow's in a different place. Now, why do you think the shadow's in a different place? Because it's not quite underneath the horse. The actual shadow is to the side of the horse. Why do you think that might be? Because in our first one, where we got our tree underneath the light source, here we've actually got our horse, which is to the side of the light source, because the light source, the sun, is in a different position within the sky. And therefore, the position of the light source dictates where the shadow is shown. Here, what do you think is happening here? See the shadow, but we can't see the opaque object that's creating the shadow. What do you think the shadow is showing? What do you think? I'm seeing a circle, so maybe somebody's cooking. No? What do you think? Lots of you thinking it's a basketball player. You can see a basketball, you can see the net from the hoop. So we can see somebody jumping as well, can't we? You can see that their feet aren't on the floor. They're maybe trying to slam dunk, okay? And we can see that they must be above where this is taken because the light source, the sun, is coming down onto them and the shadow is formed on the ground. Right, guys, so the idea then is the light source hits this solid object, this solid or opaque object, or sometimes translucent, sorry, we'll look at that in it, but the solid object, and it casts the shadow beneath it. Now, the shadows are formed when the light's blocked by this object. This is because light can't go round, like you showed us, Anch. Light can only go in straight lines, and consequently, it can't bend. It can't go round an object. So if it hits an opaque object, it doesn't go through it. Even if this object gets in the path of the light, the shadow will form because the light can't get through the object. Okay, and you can see here that shadows always take the shape of the light, the blocking element. Okay, whatever the object that's blocking them is, that's the shape that the shadow takes. So here we've got a sphere, but that's for a 2D image would be a circle, and therefore the shadow is a circle in shape. Do you think on a cloudy day you have more or less shadows than on a sunny day? What do you think? Why do you think that? Have a ponder, have a little skin scratch. Pause the video while you're doing it, keep scratching. I think lots of you have thought about my sun up above, it's over here, isn't it? And you've thought about a cloud. Now, if I've got a cloud, actually something's already blocking the sun, isn't it? So like this lady walking along by the sea, on a cloudy day, there are no shadows due to the fact that the sun's already been blocked, hasn't it? But on a sunny day, like with the cows, the sun is all there and nothing's blocking that light source. Therefore, you can see on the road that cow has cast a shadow from the sun's light. All objects cast shadows. Do all objects cast shadows? No. Some of them are transparent. So there's things that we can see through. Things that do not cast a shadow. So something like a clear bottle or a light bulb that hasn't got any colour into it. We've also got translucent objects. The translucent objects are things which a little bit of light cast through. I'm going to put myself at the top because I'm showing you something. It's not because I'm a show off. Okay, so some light comes through. Okay, and things like cloudy liquid or a visor or sunglasses. So transparent things do not cast a shadow. So my top chocolate orange box came in a transparent wrapper. This wouldn't cast any shadow, whereas translucent casts a faint shadow. Faint shadow. Okay. Now I'd like you to do a bit of predicting and checking. Predict, what you do is you think about what you think something's going to happen. You're going to look at some objects. So I picked my hand and I thought, oh, it must be translucent because I can wave at people and still see them. Don't think it's a very good prediction. So what I did then, I got my light source and you can see it casting its light on the floor. My light source was my torch. And then I put my object, my hand, in front of the light source. And if you look really carefully where the arrow's pointing, you can see that there's a shadow cast, and quite a strong shadow if you look closer. It's a bit tricky to see. But that therefore told me that I should tick the opaque section of my box. Okay. I'd like you to do your predicting and collect your results as your first job. I'm going to show you the second job in the second video. So pause now, complete this predictive task, and then I look forward to seeing you for our second really exciting video. Try and do 8 objects for this first task at least. If you can do more, that'd be brilliant. See you soon, guys. Bye.